Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, continuing on with our Narrative Pro tutorial series. We are going to continue off where we left off, which is talking about this node, well, all nodes in general. Now, obviously, if you recall, we go into the project settings all the way down here to the narrative dialog editor. There's actually default NPC dialog classes, and this is for the nodes. There's also a default one for the player. So if we wanted to, we could make changes. I'm going to go to mine, wherever it went. One second here. It's not showing up. I'm wondering if it popped up somewhere else. It's not showing up because it's C++. Gotcha. So if we know what it's called, project settings, dialog node NPC. We come in here. Let me bring this window back up. Content drawer. We come back down to where our dialog is. We could easily create a blueprint for dialog node. And there's the NPC one. And we could create our own. BP underscore WC dialog node NPC. And if we open it up, here we can make changes. As you can see, there aren't any actual functions or anything to utilize here, but you can create your own variables. You can create your own event dispatchers. And then you use your master dialog that you set up to gather this information for you. Now, that's not something we're going to go deeply and heavily into because that is 100% per use basis. But when I get to doing this for my game and I need to make additions, I can guarantee you there will be videos on that. Because honestly, I don't care if everyone makes their, their dialogue and stuff work like mine. I just care that their game looks and feels different and their story is unique. Call me crazy. I just want a good story and unique experience in the game. All right. So I want to make sure you guys were aware of that. Obviously, then at that point, because I made it, I will go ahead and I'm going to do this. Come back into project settings, and I'm going to go ahead and change it just because. So now when I create nodes, they're all going to be created from that one. Obviously, we can't tell, but that's not a big deal. So if we click on one of these nodes, like I said, we're going to go into all of this information here. A lot of learning. I'm trying to mix and match stuff so you're doing something while learning something. We have right here the ID. This is indeed optional. For those of you that are just telling a story, and there's a lot of narrative-based games. Not saying like narrative tales like the plugins, but the actual genre of narrative-based games, where there aren't really any conditions. You may ask questions and answer questions, things like that, but everything is perfectly flowed, so you wouldn't even need the ID. But for those of you like me who like things complicated, this ID is here for you. As you can see, it does name it for us. This one names it what the blueprint is, and then does underscore dialog node underscore NPC underscore 2. Now, this tells us what dialog node is being used. So I am curious now. Hey, look at that. It's using our new one. This one is 2, but it was already created, so the name sticks there. The things you learn about this amazing tool as you go. So you have the option of keeping it as it is, which would keep everything, every node unique. You would never have to keep track of the nodes that you've named. But if you're like me, and like to keep things complicated, then you're going to name it like I did. Which means I would need to make sure I have a last name for this Frank. Because I may have a lot of Franks in my game, but I'll keep them differentiated by their last names. So I'm really screwed if I have two Frank Sinatras. Yeah, I'll be screwed at that point. Now, with that being said, if we wanted to change the reply shot, and we will. So I'm going to do it for this one. I'm curious what Bird's Eye looks like. So when we go and play it, I'm going to do that. Now then we have here the dialogue line. So what's being said? We quickly filled up the text so that we could show off this bit of information here. You don't have to have text, but you may want to. That way the player can choose whether they see dialogue or not. But again, that is 100% up to you. The duration is default. The default option is generally the best and won't often need changed. Default will use when audio ends if audio is set. Then when sequence ends if this is set and no text is set. Then after default reading time if text is set. Empty lines are instantly finished. So if there's nothing here, just like there's nothing there, it instantly finishes and goes to the next stuff. Now, with that being said, you may want to keep this empty, but you have something here. That's fine. It will do its default play. If you have something here, that's fine. The default stuff will play. Shot. So if you want it to be different, which I changed here, selecting reply shot. Not 100% sure what the difference is. Play for this line. Sequence to play when player is selecting their reply. Oh, let's keep that to none. The shot, I want it to be bird's eye because I want to see what it does. I didn't notice that there were two of them. A lot of information to unpack here. Conditions. Optional conditions, the line must pass for it to be selected. I honestly don't know what this would be used for here. It doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. I just haven't figured out its purpose yet. Now, alternative lines is awesome. We're going to go ahead and add one right now. Come here. As you can see, we're going to go with dolly zoom. Interesting. We'll go with over the shoulder. And I'm going to say this one is yo. That's it. And then keep it at default. Now you could do choose specifically when audio ends, when sequence ends, after reading time, after a certain number of seconds, or it never ends. I don't know why you would want that, but yeah, it's there. So alternate lines obviously just keeps things the same. So what it's going to do now is essentially roll the dice and see which one it's going to pick when this plays. Now, detailed dialogue node is skippable, so can we skip past this? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when I can't skip dialogue that I've seen before. So this is where you would want to, in your master, if you want it to determine has this played before, then can be skipped type of thing. So yeah, once I figure that out, again, I'll be sharing that. NPC replies. This is for debugging purposes. We can add stuff if we wanted to, but honestly, once we add something here, the debug will these will populate with what we add on it. Compact view. If we select that, it's made it tiny. This is really good for things like when you have, you want the player to have like 10 choices. So we would then branch down to NPC Frank that would be completely empty and make it compact, at which point the player would then have their 10 choices to choose from. Let's see. And then we obviously made a condition in the last one. Conditions and events. So conditions are obviously what you need to do in order for this to play. And events are what needs to happen after this plays or during. I believe you actually get to choose. So add goal to NPC. You event. Correct. So brief fire on load, quests only. So we'll touch on that when we get to quests. Event runtime. So when does it start? It starts at the start, at the end, or at both. Event filter, only NPCs, only players, anyone. NPC target. So if you're having it happen to an NPC, you select the NPC. But once we get to event specifically, because we will be creating our own event, um, an actual event, not just some print string, then we will dive deeper into how all of this works. So now that we have that happening, let's go ahead and give the player something to say. So add dialogue line for NPC Frank. NPC Frank, put that one in there. And I'm going to keep it clean-ish. Now add player response. Now you'll notice when we pull out of the player, it has to be an NPC. Now, if we have multiple NPCs, I believe we would be able to pick from multiple NPCs, but it can't go from player to player. However, you can get past that by adding another empty Frank and then putting the player and then empty Frank if you're wanting them to, do things a specific way. So it is possible, it's just a little more work. So let us continue on with the player here. And I'm just going to put in the text, nice to see you. And obviously we have alternative lines. What's cooking, brah? Yeah, I know. I'm ridiculous. But hey, I didn't mess with the alternative lines. I just assumed that they worked. We're going to have some fun and see if it does. It's skippable. NPC replies, nothing's there, but as I pointed out here, now if we go down to debug, NPC replies, there is a reply. Look at that. That way, if there's something wrong, we know which node it is so that we can go into it and take a look and try to figure it out. And we will go ahead and see what our new work has done for us. And end this episode. All right. It's been a while. What's up? Nice to see you. What's cooking, brah? Now, if I do, I don't know why I went back. If I do it again, hey there again. All right. Nice to see you. All right. So, some transitions don't work all that well, and that's fine. Before we test it again so that we can get some more of the lines. Let me fix that. I believe it was this one. Yes. Go to none. Play. Yo. Nice to see you. So obviously, some of the camera stuff isn't acting how it should, and that's fine. It's something we can work on in future videos when we get to messing around with the camera stuff, if we do. Um, but it's certainly something to consider and keep in mind here. So that being said, that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.